Thank you. Excuse me.
The stair leads back kind of.
Out of jail to go for a gig.
Shower time!
It's 30. It's like at least 160 feet.
All right. So welcome down to the 165-foot level.
165.
Yeah. All right. As you can see down here, here's the base of our chocolate waterfall. You guys had a chance to see while you were walking down?
Yeah, can't see.
And if you look right here, you can see the origin of the moaning sound from Moaning Caverns. Up here, you'll see these huge cave draperies, and as they dig down, they drip this water down to these holes. They drill these holes out in the shape of bottles. When there's little enough water in there, it kind of sounds like when you blow air over a bottle and you get that low musical sound. Now, the acoustics in this cave are quite impressive, so that little sound will bounce up these walls and go out the top of that cave there and create that moaning sound that the Native Americans originally heard. Now, you won't really hear that sound anymore. One, because when they built the staircase here, the sound stopped. It affected the acoustics in the cave. That, and when we built the gift shop over the top, it kind of worked as a plug. But we can still claim the moaning sound. Just about everyone does it right about here on the steps. Now, if you guys look over here, this is one of our other infamous formations here. This is known as the igloo. When the miners came down here, nothing more in their little bucket and candle, that was about all they could see in the darkness, a white outline here. It is made entirely of calcite. It is also one of the largest stalagmites in the West Coast. It is 24 feet tall from here to here, the size of a 2-story house.
Really?
Now, one thing that looks a little off, depth perception in this cave can be extremely off. Things that might look smaller or larger in here and actually aren't. That is because there is no natural sunlight in this cave, so there are no natural shadows to tell us how far away or how close things are. Like if I was to stand right here and try to reach there, I'd have a hard time. That is a 7-foot gap right there. This wall back here where these rocks are, that's a little over 100 feet. That's actually a further distance than the top of these stairs here. It doesn't look like it, does it? No.
Did you say that is further than that up there?
Yes. This wall right here is actually further than the top of those stairs. Seems really off.
Yeah.
And if you look up here, there's that large stalactite that I showed you, the pendulum. Now, as you guys saw a few repellers earlier, and some of you guys are dressed for the thing, those would be part of the adventure tour if you guys were ever interested. You can either choose to walk down the steps or rappel down this rope here. You'll take the ladder down here to our infamous little bone pile, go down into this hole which takes you into further depths of the caves, make a right and you'll be going down some holes here. Come out here at claustrophobic corner, so if you chose you didn't want to do it anymore, you can make your escape here. Or you can continue on down under the ground, through here, underneath the pond, and right out Godzilla's nostril. Now, if you're still feeling adventurous, you can shimmy up this little chimney we have underneath the rock, come out there and go down the Wedgie Hill.
Why do you call it Wedgie Hill?
You'll find out. Now, this can be a 2 to 3 hour trip. So definitely be prepared for some cave crawling.
You supply the knee pad?
Yes, we supply all the knee pads, gloves, helmets. It becomes quite an adventure. Now, if you guys look over here, I'll give you an idea of how long it takes for some of these formations to grow. If you look at this wall here, you can see a little bit of calcium flowing down this wall. It might one day turn into a drapery. It's about 500 years old. This one right here is about 5,000 years old. Our big chocolate waterfall here is actually about 500,000 years old. So for every year that happens, you really don't notice any growth until at least 1,000 years. Now I'll show you one other interesting little formation here. This one here is known as a pancake formation, and it looks a little odd and different from the rest of our cave formations. That's because it's our one foreign exchange student. It isn't natural to this particular cave. This is actually from China. At that time, they dammed up a cave system and flooded it out, and they decided to cut out formations and sell them to make a couple extra bucks. We decided to buy this one here and see if we can get it to go over the cave. In the last couple of years, it actually has shown signs of growth.
So 1,000 years of finally.
A little bit, yes. We'll get you into it. Now, if you notice right here, this huge marble wall behind us, this is what is known as our leaning wall. It is because it really is leaning off the cave. From about here on up, it is detached with a 3 to 6 foot gap. What holds it together are the cracks right here, glued together with calcium deposits. Now, we are perfectly safe here. This thing will not be breaking anytime soon. In fact, down here, we are safer than almost anyone else in the area if we were to say suffer an earthquake. Another formation is extremely fragile in our cave. This is known as the angel wing draperies. It's about 120,000 years old and about the thickness of 2 potato chips. If I were to smack it with my flashlight, it would shatter and I'd probably lose my job. Now, with that in mind, if we were to have an earthquake, this thing would have broken long ago. In fact, we did have an earthquake down here during a tour back in '89 when we had the big San Francisco one. The only thing the tourists noticed down here was that the rope shook and the stairway made a humming sound. They couldn't figure out what was going on. So when they finally made it to the top, they noticed the gift shop was in complete disarray and realized they had suffered an earthquake. How that would work underground is you really won't feel the shaking unless you're 15 to 30 feet underground. And if you've ever seen those little silver balls when you knock one down and they keep moving, the center one never moves. And then out the other side it bounces. And we are in that zone where nothing moves. Now, remember some of the bones I showed you when we were at the top of the cave. Right down here, what is left of those bones, this is known as our bone pile right here. If I were to shine my light, you can actually see evidence of a little bit of bone that is still left here.
Bones?
Bones. People who fell in